why have we not gotten a ridiculously awesome John Wick video game yet?
Man, I don't know how to answer that one. On the one hand, it's the problem with the IP game. Sometimes you get a book that becomes a shitty movie and a great TV show, an awful mobile game and a great, VR experience. Sometimes it's crapshoot. You're like, how the hell is that great as that thing, but not that other thing? And, the way I describe anything is, I was at a screening one time, and just a legendary producer came up to me. He was a fan of the John Wick, and we were chatting, and he said, Derek, if I knew how to make a good project, I would. And I'm like, he's got 150 credits to his name. I get it though, I think the other thing too is you want to start out small, and in video games, they encourage you to go large. Like, to me, the best, you look at the MCU, you wouldn't have Endgame had it not earned what it was through Iron Man, Thor, the first Avenger, all that kind of stuff. And so I think it's a hard balance right now, and the world of gaming is changing far faster than anything else,
Sure. I also wonder if there's a way of more games, instead of going for like spending hundreds of millions of dollars and creating this epic thing that has, I'm wondering if it almost could be done in a smaller scale, where you are creating like a $10 or $20 game that's just really cool, that's more contained, and maybe it's, instead of it being 100 hours, it's 5 or 4.
Well, again, too, is you look at the open world of it all. I mean, the last game that I spent way too much time in was Skyrim, and that was an escape. It was cathartic. It was the only game I can remember I wandered around plucking daisies or whatever and going, I'm having a good time, And when you look at certain games that have done the massive world building correctly, it also has the minutia. So it'd be a massive, kind of endeavor. And yet, you look at what the Hitman games have done in the past, or MDK 25 years ago and things like that. And you're just like, I also missed that. You're thrown into it. You have a mission, go. Cool. But the best part about John Wick and that universe is the underlying world. It's the Continental, it's the high table. And to get there, it becomes a more complex creature,
Sure. Speaking of the Continental, whatever happened with that TV series? What's going on?
Well, they're about to make some pretty large announcements in the next couple of weeks in regards to what's going to happen there. Can't say much, but it's happening. And in regards to everything John Wick, you just hope for the best,
Completely. I was told to ask you about your grandfather and where John Wick comes from.
Nothing like Grandpa, man. And in fact, Grandpa, who's still alive, has not seen John Wick, because the last R-rated movie he saw was The Piano. And
wow.
He saw a lot of Harvey. We all saw a lot of Harvey in that movie. Honestly, for the longest time, if you go back to any other specs, you're going to see all of the credited names on the posters for Dirty Dozen, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Ronin, because they were on my walls, But for my grandpa, it just came down to John Wick, and I just liked the name. And when we, started going out with it as the original title, Scorn, Keanu spent so much time referring to it as John Wick that the marketing department's like, just call it John Wick. It's gonna glean us a great deal of free press. And so it was just kind of like in the moment. And then when it became what it was, he's tickled, man.
Sure. Of course, I have to ask you, as a huge fan of the franchise, where are you in the writing process of Wick 4 and 5?
I'm actually not involved in 4 and 5.
Really?
No. I mean, at a certain stage, as the studio will tell you, your creation has graduated, and you wish it well. I'm still close with Chad, still close with Dave, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm excited to see.
And this might be a sore subject, but I'm going to ask: was this your decision? Was this a mutual thing? How are you still executive producing?
No, it wasn't my decision. I mean, when you think of the contractually these things, the third one, I shared the credit with any number of people. They didn't have to come back to me, and so they didn't. And so you look at that, and you could be hurt. And I would say if I was 20 years ago, I would have been. But seeing what the industry is and how things go, I just believe that you bless everything and hope it all the best. And to the players involved, we're doing other things elsewhere. And yet, I mean, it's personal. So I'm never going to talk shit about John Wick. I want this thing to survive and thrive.
Yeah, I have no reaction to this. I'm sort of stunned. But at the same time, it's not like you didn't land on your feet and are not involved in like 60 other things.
Yeah. I'm finally in a position where I can make cool shit with cool people who want to make cool shit. I mean, that's the playground mentality. And I love it, man. I'm far more blessed. And I know that with hard work, sometimes these things come, and it's timing and luck. And I've been lucky with timing and hard work.
No, completely. If you could get the green light and the financing for any project tomorrow, what would you make and why?
Honestly, one of my dream projects, and this sounds like pandering, I just got, and that's Hellsing at Amazon. I've been such a massive fan of that manga and anime for years that when I was introduced to it a while ago, I was like, that's kind of a dream project. So there's that. But I think I'm also one of those guys that in my extra interview with Marvel and any number of other places, I don't have a favorite. I'm the kind of guy that if you build a sandbox and fill it with sand and you say, do you want to come in here and make a sandcastle? I need your help. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm more of a catalyst guy, dude. So when you think of what you're passionate about, I don't really have anything that's 100% akin to the value of self. Like I need to make this thing because I'm getting to play in the places that are real, you know? And honestly, there are a couple others I'd love to mention, but they're being made by other people, sadly. So
I completely understand. Do you see yourself directing at some point, or do you feel like that's not your strong suit?
it's not my strong suit, and it's not my interest. I saw what Dave and Chad went through to become what they are, and it's a different beast. It's a different build. They're phenomenal at it. I can't focus on one thing for 18 months or 2 years. I love writing. I love being alone. I love that the world can fuck off while I type, you know? And that just has always made me happy. I guess I'm one of the few rare writers who I want to write. I love it.